Hi everyone. So today we're talking about bullying. I've got my nice new earrings on to bring some light to this topic because it really is a dark shadow that we've all really signed up to experience through different angles. So today I'm going to talk about the different angles, especially around the mother-child angle. And the big one is often, what is it like for me as a mother to experience my child being picked on at school? And having to do the standing up for them and going in myself to be, liaising with the school staff and the interesting energy that we can then receive as we go in as that mother trying to stand up for our children. So let's have a look at it. The main part is, as always, whenever something's going on, so when you see or hear about your child going through an event, doesn't matter whatever, but if they're being picked on, how do I feel as a mother? We always want to go in and fix the problem. I better go in and talk about it. I better go and, do whatever. I better go help my child, whatever you want to do to your child. Firstly, come back to yourself. How do I feel as a mother going through this? And this is what's swept under the rug so much, as us mums carry a lot of heart tension and throat tension around here because we're not actually expressing how it feels to see our child in strife, to be helpless about it, to want to go and, sometimes really get angry with the person that's been doing it, let alone feeling that feeling of fear that our children must have gone through. So with that heart energy as a mother to go, oh my gosh, that would have been terrible, especially if it keeps happening. So that's the main part, is you must feel, so that all of that stuff that you're swallowing down, it can release. And then you crack your heart open, and ideally you get to that point where you're like, oh my gosh, my heart's really cracked open because I'm feeling so yuck about this, that you then start to get rid of the charge. And that's where you hold the place of power in being able to go in there and speak up to people about it and sort something out, basically ticking this life theme off. The universe says, yep, you're done now. Things will start to shift and change when you've cleared this charge. But when you're going in there with charge, the school staff, parents, whoever it is that's listening, they hear the monkey mind talking, the anger, the, oh, you're not doing good enough. And then you go, oh, whoops, I'm now picking on you guys. And so that's the interesting thing, is that we're all as bad as each other. We all do pick on each other in all sorts of different ways, let alone picking on ourselves as well, which can be that theme of I'm not doing good enough as a mother, because then we start to look at, as I said to my husband when my son was going through it, ultimately we are taking him to this school system and dropping him in there. We are placing him in there. We do have a choice if we get really self-responsible in what we are doing with our children. And it really is, it can bring up all sorts of fear, and it needs time. Like for us, it took years to manifest our children out of school. But what I saw was the signs, and what I did was take action to go, all right, we've got to start changing this ship in a different direction. So that by the time I'd cleared rage and anger and frustration and guilt, grief, the whole lot out, I was at that point where I was actually quite neutral in my heart to go, okay, if anything else happens right now, I'm done, we're out, bring it, I'm ready. And that was, of course, at the time when we virtually were anyway, and pretty much that did happen. So the main bit is, yes, in seeing that, you have a choice as a new age mum to go, all right, I keep taking them in there and I keep trying to micromanage the situation. I keep banging my head on the wall, to the school staff, expecting them to do different stuff. Expectations, unfortunately, a lot of the time they can't even match, let alone can they get it, because often we're talking on a different wavelength to them altogether anyway. And what we experienced going through this theme is a lot of the teachers and deputies and principals that we attracted were only interested in that battle energy and that picking on energy. Your child's not good enough. There was no way they were getting to a heart space around it. And so that's when we saw the light to go, we actually have to do something to change the ship in a totally different direction. So that's the first part, is coming back to you as the mother. How do I feel? Really working on your inner self to go, it is possible to clear this stuff. It might be a task, and this is where it can take time, and that's where you have to really honor yourself to come to that, to go, if you're a mum that has been picked on, as a child, even whether it's at school or with your parents or someone else, there is a big, deep scar there. And so, of course, your child may go round and round and having these experiences, but if each time they have an experience, you let some stuff go, they go again, you let some stuff go, the universe is saying, hey, I'm helping you out with your trauma here, and I'm going to do it in a gentle, gentle enough, slow way, but it's just going to keep prodding you to let this stuff come up. And so then it's really literally go on for the ride, hands on your heart, come to your vulnerable, soft, beautiful, heart open space so that you can go forth with this. And when you do that, you're more likely to talk up from your throat, to say to people, this is where I'm coming from. The heart of the matter is I don't like seeing my child in this fear space, and it makes me feel really fearful too. People then may, if you come into your heart, they may then come out of their monkey minds and come into their heart too, and you will get certain school staff that will hear that. Some are not signed up to hear it, and that's another inner work journey in itself, that I did. Frustration, not being, just can't be seen and heard for what I'm trying to do from my heart. But the main part is practicing, coming back to your heart, and then like on the side you can be manifesting other options anyway. But really seeing that and honoring yourself, that it can be quite a big mother-child healing journey to keep working your stuff out as you hold heart space in for your child. And the more you do that yourself, the more you can hold heart space for your child, because it takes one to know one. So what you get rid of, you go, oh yes, it was awful, feeling this feeling. And, energetically, pretty much your child's going to mirror those same types of themes. You will see it and you'll go, I know what that feels like. And they will feel you in your heart space. They will go, she really does know. And it's so nice when you go, someone really does know what it's like. They can't fix and they can't change it overnight, but they really do know. And that compassion that can hold a child through quite a lot. So that's your job as a mum, to get in your heart space and hold them in their heart nest, as things go forth, right? But of course, then the next big thing in this theme is us as mothers going forth and standing up for your child. Even if you don't do it perfectly, it is the North Star compared to not, and saying, oh, my child has done something wrong, and giving your child the lecture. You did that wrong. I can't believe you did that. Or the picking on energy. Oh, well, sorry, that's tough, isn't it? When we do that and we don't really come into feeling what's going on for them, but also for us, we really miss the point. And that's where our child goes, oh, mum doesn't even, it doesn't even have that heart space to catch me. And you can see the flatness, the shut offness, as opposed to, oh, yep, she gets me. And they are going to be more likely to talk up, express their emotions, all sorts of stuff that you want. So North Star is go in and stand up for your child and speak up. Empower them too as well. But I will say, I feel like, especially the mums coming at me for my work, a lot of us, this is actually our work as the mother to practice going in and talking up. There was no way my Hayden was going to talk up, because they had shamed him for crying. So then, of course, he didn't feel like he could speak up anyway. So there's that theme of the children really shut down. And so then it's us mums going, okay, so here I go. I'm going to practice this first. The children are saying, you go first, which is great, because that is the stuff that needs to get cleared from our generation, speaking up and really practicing this throat. And walking away and asking, how did I feel about that? I'd walk away and go, I still got trodden on, or they still made me feel bad, or they still got me to, what would you say? Admit that, yeah, my son was wrong when actually he probably wasn't. Or I still didn't talk up clearly from my heart about what the actual issue is. I didn't have enough expectations out, whatever. And again, it's that picking on energy that we have to be very mindful that we're not picking on ourselves, but really feeling it, to go, I feel really unheard, or I feel really ashamed, I feel really guilty, I feel really frustrated, I actually feel rage and I could kill a small animal. Whatever it is, you got to get honest and feel, so that you are then the wild warrior mum that's like, no, I'm going to do this, right? But in saying that, with, as I say, warrior, when we carry charge, if you go in there with charge, your monkey mind wants to expect a battle, because it's looking to offload more of your stuff from the inside. You don't want battles. You want to envision things are quite smooth, everyone's on my team. And that's very hard to do if you're carrying anger or frustration or any type of trauma from the past. You want revenge, basically. So taking it out in your own little space at home, letting this stuff come up, then you go in as a much clearer vessel to be able to talk from your heart and say, this is what it is. But you are much more powerful place to be able to talk up from your heart than not talking up at all. And do not let the system, anyone say, oh, well, I won't say anything, I'll just let this go. and or putting it back on your child as the problem, which we can do if we feel fearful. Oh no, like they're embarrassing, or they haven't done this, or oh, you know, they're going to get picked on again, something really bad. We can start to get really really reactive to our children and react in all sorts of ways to them. So being really mindful of these angles, me as a mother, how am I responding when I'm in fear, when my child comes home and tells me this stuff? And then going forth to go, okay, yeah, how am I holding that space for my child? How am I going out in that more empowered heart, eventually compassion energy with the school system to go, right, I have a choice in putting my child there. So if I'm going to actually go there, I better start to get honest, with what I'm expecting. They can only meet expectations literally with their resources and whatnot. But of course, then some will not be on our wavelength anyway, as far as teachers and whatnot. So it really is just playing this theme out to go, okay, however we can go forth. But really knowing as you're doing that inner work, the more you come into your heart and clear that emotional brain fog, the more you go, what are we doing? And you see very clearly what you need to do to take steps forward to go, right, I'm playing this, merry-go-round going upwards over here, while I let go of my stuff, but I'm also calling it other options. And that's what happened to us. So that eventually it was like, nah, I know that this school system, this environment is never going to hold heart space like I desire for my child. We've got to go a different way. And as I say to some mums, sometimes you can only feel the difference. For example, when we took our children out and we now have a beautiful, heart community where we go and catch up, and the other mums hold the heart space. Even when my child is, doing the picking on, say, we all come together to help each other out with that heart space, as opposed to straight under the bus. You're not good enough. You need detentions, you need suspensions. You're just not good enough. And that is such a relief to be a mother, to go, oh, we don't have to deal with that. And it is such a nice feeling. Imagine what it is for the children to feel that too. And imagine then coming back to the school system to go, oh yeah, this is the energy they are bathing in. What's going to be the next big problem? Whether they are picking on or being picked on, it's the same thing. That energy goes round. And where does it come from? Yes, it can start from family line stuff. Let's say ancestors back. And then as new parents, often, us mums, we're the perfectionist ones. Don't do this. Oh, you didn't do that. You didn't keep up, whatever it is. You didn't. That's the picking on energy. And so then as our children take that on as a bit of a scar, and they can contract in their physical bodies, following this I'm not good enough down, of course the energetic pair comes out in the real world or the external world to show up as the bully, to go, here we go again. And so it really is that opportunity all the time. When these things come up, they come up for a reason, to experience, how do I feel? And then to your child as well, getting them feeling, how did you feel when that happened? Look at this theme that you were playing out, so that they can understand it from a higher view as well, to go, yeah, feeling your power, feeling how it's going to feel different one day when you don't have this, this energetic match to these kids that want to come and show you how you don't feel good enough about yourself. And lastly, it's really the children who are starry are the ones that are really coming forth to bring this through, because they are tricky. They are not so grounded. They're very easy to pick on when they are not keeping up. They're not organized. They're not easily picking things up, day-to-day stuff or social stuff. And so it's very easy, I will even say as a parent to be like, you didn't do this, you haven't done that, you've forgotten this, oh no, you've lost that. And they contract and go, oh, I'm not doing very good with this life here on earth. And that's when they start to attract the bullies. So many angles. The main thing is feel, because it all boils down to the same thing. How do I feel? Do I feel sad? Do I feel rejected? Do I feel, frustrated, shamed, judged, whatever it is? And what would I like to call in with your mental body? Use this mental body to say, this is what I like as a difference. This is what it would feel like if we didn't have this scenario going on. So please ask any questions, but otherwise subscribe to the channel. I'm doing plenty more videos like this fairly regularly. So go and have a look at all I've created so far, because there's quite a fair bit. But there's plenty of topics to talk about. So I hope this has helped. And let me know if you have any questions. Come and see me on Facebook or Instagram. Bye.